I enjoy being with you.
President Trump has seemingly never been able to resist Kim Jong-un's charms. But today, the president indicated he might have to.
The chairman can invite you to North Korea. I don't want to comment on that.
Would you be willing to go to North Korea?
Probably not. I don't think it's ready. I don't think we're ready for that. I would do it sometime, at a later future. And depending on what happens, I'm sure he'll love coming to the United States.
The question seemingly prompted by a report in a South Korean newspaper saying Kim had invited Trump to come to Pyongyang. CNN has not independently verified the report. Trump has said he would invite Kim to Washington during an impromptu meeting at the DMZ.
I would invite him right now to the White House. Absolutely.
But a sitting American president traveling to the secretive, hermetic North Korean capital would be unprecedented, a truly historic moment. Still, some veteran diplomats agree with the president that it's a bad idea right now.
Kim would consider this a great victory, a great coup to have Donald Trump in Pyongyang. The president should not do it. The president appears interested in these kind of summits that give him a lot of publicity, but they undercut his authority and his credibility. They make the United States, frankly, look weak on the global stage.
Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton have traveled to North Korea to secure the release of Americans held captive there. But they went as former presidents. Analysts say Kim Jong-un, his father and grandfather, have always wanted to have a sitting American president come to see them on their turf. And they're worried about the optics if President Trump ever does accept Kim's invitation.
It's hard to imagine that President Trump could resist the opportunity to sort of take the drive through the city with the adoring children waving at his motorcade, or even to show up to a state dinner, at which the North Koreans would fed him with food that's not available to the ordinary North Korean citizen. So I think the propaganda windfall for North Korea could be quite large.
Prosecutors in New York have subpoenaed 8 years' worth of President Trump's tax returns as part of its investigation into hush money payments made to 2 women alleging affairs with Mr. Trump ahead of the 2016 election. The story was first reported by the New York Times. Let's bring in CNN's Kara Scannell. Kara, prosecutors want not only the president's personal returns, but also those of the Trump organization, you say.
Yeah, Jake, that's right. Sources tell us that the subpoena from the district attorney's office, that's for New York County, that's Cy Vance, that they have subpoenaed Mazars, that's the accounting firm that has covered both Donald Trump's personal tax returns and the returns of the Trump organization. The subpoena is seeking those returns going back to 2011. Now, this is the most recent move in this investigation, which is only a couple of weeks old, where the state prosecutors are looking into the Trump organization and whether any state laws were violated in the payments of those hush money payments to women, Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal, who had alleged affairs with the president. As we reported last week, prosecutors from that office interviewed Michael Cohen, the president's former personal attorney and fixer, as part of that investigation. Now they have also subpoenaed the accounting firm, trying to get both the personal and corporate tax returns of Donald Trump and the organization as part of this investigation, where they're looking to see if any state laws were violated, including possibly providing false business records relating to how Michael Cohen was reimbursed.
Is there any sense that this attempt made by the Manhattan DA would be more successful?
Well, it's just different because it's using criminal, investigative, and state law means to get it, versus on the congressional side, Congress is having to fight these constitutional issues with respect to whether Congress can get a president's tax returns. One issue, though, because there is this political request for the information, I do think the New York DA is a little bit at risk of appearing to be doing investigations for political purposes. And that's a risk because we've seen this president want to see investigations that are for political retribution. And so the DA is going to have to be really careful that they have a legitimate basis for this case and that this is not politically motivated.
How are markets reacting, Andrew?
Well, there's no doubt that that attack sent shockwaves through the oil industry, which was reflected in the oil price when the markets opened just a few hours ago, Natalie. The initial impact was a 20% jump in Brent crude. And as you can see now, that's come back a bit, about half the jump now, about 10% higher, whereas West Texas Intermediate is about 9% higher. But make no mistake, these are still very, very big moves in the space of a couple of hours by oil prices. And it's all to do with this new reality which is dawning, if you like, that the chances now of increased military tensions, of potential military confrontation in the Middle East has increased dramatically. And also it underlines the vulnerability of the Saudi fields. Remember, these two particular facilities that was hit, one of them, Abqaiq, is actually responsible for something like 70% of all processed crude oil that Saudi sells to the world. So it is a massive plant. Now, the Saudis are saying that they should be able to get about 2 million barrels back online by the end of Monday. At least that's what they are reportedly saying, Natalie. Remember, 5.7 million barrels per day of production was lost. They think they can get 2 million back, but we don't know how long it's going to take the remainder to get back online, because we don't know the extent of the damage caused by those strikes on the oil facilities. There is strategic reserves, as you mentioned, which can bridge that shortfall, but it obviously can't bridge it indefinitely. And the longer this goes on, the more pressure there is going to be on the oil price. And what we've been hearing, Natalie, is if this does go on, there will be a premium on oil of perhaps $10 a barrel, which at current prices is about 20%. So that is a massive premium.